In a world that seems designed to trigger stress responses, there exists a man who moves through chaos with the steady composure of a deep-sea current. While others react with panic, anxiety, or anger to life's inevitable pressures, he maintains a center of calm that seems almost supernatural. This isn't luck or genetic advantage. It's the result of specific, deliberate practices that form the bedrock of the Sigma male's emotional architecture. If you've ever wondered how some men remain unfazed in situations that would leave most people trembling or enraged, you're about to discover the sophisticated system behind that remarkable calm. Today we explore the 8 ways Sigma males maintain their composure in any situation. 1. The practice of emotional distance observation. The foundational skill in the Sigma male's calmness toolkit is what we might call emotional distance observation. When intense emotions arise, whether his own or others, he doesn't immediately identify with them. Instead, he mentally steps back and observes the emotional response as if studying an interesting weather pattern. He might think, "Fascinating. My heart rate has increased by 40 beats per minute, and my muscles are tensing in response to this criticism," rather than, "I'm so angry right now." This metacognitive practice creates crucial space between stimulus and response, preventing emotional hijacking of his decision-making faculties. He understands that emotions are data, not directives. By observing his internal reactions with clinical curiosity rather than judgment or identification, he maintains access to his higher reasoning capabilities even in highly charged situations. This emotional sovereignty means he never says or does things in anger that he'll later regret, and he never makes fear-based decisions that limit his potential. 2. The implementation of the problem-solution binary. While others get lost in emotional narratives about why something bad happened or who's to blame, the Sigma male immediately applies what he calls the problem-solution binary to any challenging situation. His mind automatically asks, "Is this within my control?" If yes, he focuses exclusively on solutions. If no, he consciously releases any mental energy toward it. This simple but profound filtering mechanism prevents the wasted anxiety that consumes people who try to change uncontrollable circumstances. When his flight gets canceled, he doesn't join the crowd complaining at the counter. He's already on his phone researching alternative routes. When a business deal falls through, he doesn't dwell on the betrayal. He immediately begins developing his next opportunity. This solution-oriented programming isn't cold or unfeeling. It's incredibly empowering. It transforms him from a victim of circumstances to an architect of outcomes, which is fundamentally calming to the human psyche. 3. The mastery of physiological self-regulation. The Sigma male understands the intimate connection between body and mind. When stress arises, he doesn't just try to think differently. He directly intervenes at the physiological level. He's mastered subtle techniques like box breathing, inhaling for 4 counts, holding for 4, exhaling for 4, holding for 4, that can swiftly calm his nervous system. He uses posture changes, squaring his shoulders, lifting his chin, planting his feet firmly, to signal confidence to his brain. He might subtly tense and release muscle groups to discharge physical tension. These techniques work because they bypass the cognitive loops that often amplify stress. While others are trapped in mental panic, he's actively regulating his biology, which in turn calms his mind. This physiological awareness means he can maintain optimal performance pressure even during public speaking, high-stakes negotiations, or physical danger. 4. The application of temporal framing. Human suffering often comes from imagining permanent consequences from temporary situations. The Sigma male counteracts this with what we might call temporal framing, consciously placing current difficulties within the broader context of his life timeline. When facing a significant setback, he deliberately asks, "How will I view this situation 1 year from now? 5 years from now?" This mental time travel reveals that most crises that feel overwhelming in the moment become minor footnotes in the larger story of a life. This perspective doesn't minimize current challenges, but properly scales them, preventing the catastrophic thinking that turns molehills into mountains. A failed business venture becomes that learning experience in my late 30s rather than the end of my career. A relationship ending becomes that transitional period before I met my partner, rather than proof I'll always be alone. This temporal wisdom provides profound comfort during difficult moments. 5. The cultivation of multiple identity pillars. Many people derive their sense of security from a single identity. I'm a successful businessman, or I'm a devoted husband. When that identity is threatened, their entire psychological foundation shakes. The Sigma male avoids this vulnerability by cultivating what we might call multiple identity pillars. He sees himself simultaneously as a professional, an intellectual, a physical being, a creative force, and more. When one area faces challenges, say his business struggles, his sense of self remains intact because his other pillars remain strong. He can think, my company may be struggling, but I'm still physically strong, mentally sharp, and creatively productive. This distributed psychological architecture makes him remarkably resilient to the specific setbacks that devastate those with singular identities. His calm comes from knowing that no single failure can define or destroy him. 6. The practice of resource awareness. A significant source of anxiety for most people is the fear of not having enough. Enough money, enough support, enough options. The Sigma male systematically eliminates this fear through constant resource awareness. He maintains meticulous awareness of his financial reserves, his practical skills, his social connections, however selective, and his physical capabilities. This isn't obsessive counting, but rather maintaining a clear mental dashboard of his available resources. When challenges arise, he doesn't panic because he knows exactly what tools he has available. If he loses his job, he knows his emergency fund can cover 12 months of expenses. If he faces a complex problem, he knows which skills he can apply to solve it. This comprehensive resource awareness creates a deep foundational calm because he knows he's prepared for most contingencies life might throw at him. 7. The implementation of the no unnecessary enemies policy. While perfectly capable of confrontation when necessary, the Sigma male follows what he calls a no unnecessary enemies policy. He understands that conflict drains mental energy and creates ongoing stress, so he deliberately avoids creating adversarial relationships over trivial matters. He doesn't engage in office politics, doesn't argue with strangers online, and doesn't take bait designed to provoke him. This isn't weakness, but strategic energy conservation. By minimizing unnecessary conflict in his life, he preserves his mental resources for the battles that truly matter. His calm comes partly from operating in environments largely free of the petty tensions and rivalries that keep many people in states of low-grade chronic stress. When he does choose to engage in conflict, it's with full commitment and clear purpose, not as a reaction to provocation. 8. The ritual of daily mental decompression. The Sigma male understands that calm isn't just the absence of stress, but an active state that must be cultivated. He practices daily mental decompression rituals that systematically clear accumulated stress from his system. This might involve intense physical exercise, meditation, long walks in nature, or immersion in music or art. These aren't leisure activities, but non-negotiable maintenance procedures for his mental equipment. Just as an athlete stretches after training, he decompresses after mental exertion. This daily reset prevents stress from accumulating to toxic levels, ensuring he begins each day with a clean emotional slate. While others carry yesterday's tensions into today's challenges, he meets each new situation with fresh capacity, allowing him to respond to even major crises with the calm that others can only muster for minor irritations. These 8 practices form an integrated system that allows the Sigma male to maintain remarkable equanimity across every domain of his life. They're not personality traits he was born with, but skills he's deliberately developed through consistent practice. What makes his calm so compelling is that it doesn't come from avoiding life's challenges, but from developing superior capacity to meet them. In a world increasingly designed to provoke emotional reactions, his ability to choose his responses represents one of the most powerful forms of freedom possible. To understand how this emotional mastery translates into social dynamics, I recommend watching our video. How Sigma Males Deal with Disrespect, 9 Best Strategies.